Each and every one of you here today, and I won't explain the problems that Ireland has because you know them. You know them yourselves. But we have the ability in the next weeks and months to change all of this forevermore. And each and every one of you has to go from house to house, from street to street, and you have to win as many votes as possible. That these people who are cowardly in nature, who won't show their face, who won't show their identity, but they'll say, but I agree with you. I agree with you. When they go behind that curtain, they have to vote for change, and ye have to make sure that they vote for change. This is the one chance we have. Don't waste it. You've seen today an army of Gardaí, and they were not there. They were not there for us. They were there to protect them. My grandfather, when he was a child, and when the black and tans were making their way around Sligo, burning creameries and all the rest of it, a man came running and hid under a cock of hay. 3 black and tans, he was 12 years of age, says to him, "Where is that man?" And they bet him like a dog. And they'll bait us like dogs because they work for the Queen's shilling still. Each and every one of you here today, when you go home, ring your brother, ring your sister, ring your cousin. Talk to your neighbours and say, Ireland is for the Irish once again. Get used to it.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Irish Zone Live. My name is Noel. I hope you're all doing well. Fergus Power put that video up on X and asked for it to be shared. So I wanted to start the stream. This is why I was a few minutes late. I had some issues trying to upload it onto my computer, but I finally got it. But I wanted to start the live stream with those inspiring words, because we are at a critical point in this country, and I fear what's going to happen next. But let's get straight into it. So that's a video in relation to a protest that's taken place outside Garda headquarters in August. The date is, hold on, I've got the exact date here. The date is the 5th of August, 2 p.m. All groups welcome. Show support by protesting at your local Garda station if you can't attend HQ. So if you cannot get to Dublin, we are asking you to get out into your community outside the local Garda station and have a peaceful protest. Okay? It's about time that the Garda Síochána are called to task for what has happened in the last couple of days. But not just the last couple of days. This happened in Newtown, Mount Kennedy, and plenty of places across the country. Now, we are at breaking point, right? And last night, we seen that breaking point. There was a successful protest outside an alleged IPAS centre. Not an alleged, an IPAS centre. It was earmarked for IPAS in Dundalk. And you seen it. I uploaded the speeches and gave the credit to the people that uploaded the videos. You seen that yesterday. Same with Limerick Says No. They had a protest as well. It seems like Coolock has sparked the country. You think it would have been Newtown, Mount Kennedy, Clonmel, but it happened to be Coolock. The Dubs, up the Dubs. Anyway, the Dundalk protest had a bit of an incident. While someone was speaking, a Ukrainian woman with a baby, who clearly looked like she was either deranged or drunk, grabbed the mic off an Irishman and started trying to tell her sob story to everybody. Of course, nobody wanted to hear her sob story, so then she went and started threatening the crowd. Now, later on, after the protest had finished, and everybody was leaving, an incident, I have to give you a bit of backstory. So an incident happened a couple of weeks ago where an Irish lad was set upon a bunch of migrants. You've all seen the video. It was posted everywhere on social media. I even posted it myself. You see an Irish fella, young lad, getting the head kicked off him, and there was an outfit there who basically tried to step in and blah, 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 blah. Well, the migrants that are living here are living above a shop, right? So there's video footage of the lad who was beaten up with his friends and a few people with tricolours standing across the road from the shop above the flat where they were living. Now, very interestingly enough, footage has actually emerged from the migrant flat, right, with their big screen TV, their wooden floors and their lovely chair. Doesn't look like they're coming from war-torn countries either. They look all well off to do. And they're laughing. Now, the reason why I haven't posted it up on my YouTube channel is because I know exactly what's happening there. They will copyright claim that and channels will be taken down. So be careful if you're sharing that footage. So they're all laughing their heads off at Irish people out the window. And what happens is they start throwing stuff out at the crowd, and the crowd starts throwing stuff back. You've seen the footage. It's all there anyway. You know, it's not misinformation. There it is. But this all sparked off because an Irish lad was set upon by migrants in Dundalk, right? And the left, as usual, had nothing to say about it except, the lad probably deserved it. Now, the video footage of the lad that you're seeing getting taken down is allegedly the lad that was beaten up. So for his troubles, the public order unit body slammed him down onto the ground. Interestingly enough, YouTube has actually age restrict that video on my channel, quite interestingly. And you see the first bit of video footage that I threw up of him being dragged away by the public order unit, then being picked up, and then apparently there's a bit of a scuffle, and then that's the second video where you see him being arrested. Now, some bloke turned around and said that he deserved it. And then some brave Irish fella says, why does he fucking deserve it? And questioned them, right? The bottom line is, right, listen, so there's a couple of social media accounts on X, right? And I'm not going to mention their names, but they're race baiters, right? And they've been, for the past couple of weeks and months, inciting all of the migrants to bally up and to weapon up and all of this. One going as far as to say to go out and screw every Irish woman you can get your hands on so we can impregnate them. Right? So we've been hearing this shit. Right? What's happening is that there are agent provocateurs on both sides trying to stoke the tensions, and this is what's happening. And I said this last year, the tensions have been slowly being notched up bit by bit, and we're getting to a point now where it's getting to breaking point. For the 5th time, Crown Paints in Coolock was set alight. Now, I'm going to say something very interesting about Crown Paints, right? Now, originally, at first, like everybody else, when Crown Paints went up, I was kind of like, yay. But when I think about it now, I'm going, boo, right? For the simple reason is I do believe that it's an inside job, not by the people at Clonmel, but regardless of Síochána are paying someone to set that on fire, maybe the security or whatever, right? But someone's setting fire to that. But why are they setting fire to that? Well, the roof is full of asbestos, right? So in reality, it would be better for the government if that building actually just went poof, right? So I would say to the residents of Coolock, I know you have nothing to do with it. By the way, I know you have nothing to do with it. But what I'm just saying is if there's anybody tempted, don't even go near the building. Leave it. In the state that it's in, they will not be able to put... If they put... they put migrants in that place, there'll be fucking hell to pay. Right? The left won't allow that. Right? Asbestos on the roof. The place has gone up in flames a couple of times. 5 times now or something. Not happening, right? It's not happening. But keep your protest there and keep vigilant and keep doing what you are doing. But don't go near that building, right? Because if anything does happen in that building, they will be all quick to blame you. But the bottom line is it'll be easier for them for that building to go puff rather than sending diggers to pull it down, wouldn't it? Think about it. So that's why I believe, and by the way, there's video footage of Gardaí getting over the wall, right? So you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out who's doing this, right? It's not the people of Coolock, I can tell you that. The people of Coolock don't need to do that. The people of Coolock have already shown that they're resilient, strong and brave, right? And they're willing to take it to the state, right? They don't need to go in and start setting fire to buildings, right? They don't need to. They're already winning this. They've sparked the country, right? They don't need to do jack shit now, right? They've got the country on their side. Well, let's hope the momentum is kept now this time, right? Because after Newtown Mount Kennedy, it went quiet. It can't go quiet again now, right? The public order unit have shown that they're enemies of the Irish people, right? We have seen them pepper spray old, young alike. And then we saw them in Dundalk, right, going after our youth. Okay? And no matter what you say about our youth, yes, our youth are lost, right? And they're lacking direction. But that's the government's fault. That's their job to give them that hope and belief that they've got something going for them for the future. Right? So, you know, Helen McEntee, Simon Harris, Drew Harris, you can all say that the far right is radicalising people and all of this. The bottom line and the truth is that you are the guys that are radicalising the Irish people, right? And I just want to make one thing clear. We had Kevin Coyle on here, right? Now, to spin this narrative from Helen McEntee and others on RTE and on the radio claiming that they engaged with the people of Coolock, right? Now, I'd like to say directly to Helen McEntee, okay, great. Show us who you got in contact with. Because every single resident that's in Coolock and was at that protest do not know who you've been engaging with because you haven't been engaging with them. Now, it's quite funny before people say it's misinformation on the left. It's quite funny that the community in Tipperary just recently spoke up and said that there's no government engagement or with the community whatsoever, right? And the thing about it is, right, you could say that she's doing this, doing that, and the other. You haven't done it. And this is why we're at the point that we're at. But you want this to happen. You want this to happen because you want to bring in your draconian hate speech laws. And this is the way you've figured out how you're going to do it. So you're going to ignore communities, and then in the middle of the night, you're going to creep in. You're going to destroy the camp that's there, and then try move in migrants. And then when it doesn't go your way, the media just so happen to be there to take the photographs so they're all over the news the next day. The same trick that is used in Newtown Mount Kennedy and other places. And you are deliberately stoking the tension. And instead of actually, you know, admitting that and taking responsibility that you are part of the problem, you just want to blame an imaginary far right. An imaginary far right that you believe is all over Europe. There is no imaginary far right. Right? There is no far right. The bottom line is anybody that doesn't agree with you is labelled that. Simple as that. Right? And not everybody is left-wing or left-minded when it comes to policies on whatever issue it is. Right? And how we've gotten here as a society is unbelievable and baffling in my opinion. Right? That nobody's opinion is greater than anybody else's. It's just that, an opinion. Right? You don't have to agree with that opinion. You can agree with that opinion. You can add to that opinion. You can come up with a totally different way of looking at things. But the bottom line is this, is that Helen McEntee and all of these other people have failed to listen. And we're here now. And it's deliberate, right? It's deliberate, right? They don't want to engage, right? Now, you've all seen my live stream from Coolock. You've also seen that what I decided to do was cut up a lot of that live stream and throw up the videos as well on the channel. I thought it was very important to do that, especially the one with the Garda superintendent that showed up and said there wouldn't be any trouble. He was willing to engage, then spoke about emails not being sent, and then he was corrected and said that there was email sent, and then he pretended to look surprised. Then he was asked about Garda ID numbers and all of this, and he came up with a lame excuse. Well, they're only new out of the barracks and all of this other rubbish. But it highlighted to me why I thought, and I said the night before, I thought it was a fucking stupid idea to be inviting the Gardaí and the mainstream media to Coolock, the very people that have been setting up the people of Coolock, Newtown, Mount Kennedy, Clonmel, and everybody else that has stood up in this country. And I said it the night before, and I even said it'll kick off. And then when I got there, I noticed straight away, I had a horrible feeling from the get-go. And I called it. And I was right. And I don't take any pride in being right. I just wish people would fucking listen. Now, the Garda headquarters thing, right? I think that's a bad idea. I've openly said it, right? Because it's the Phoenix Park. They could block off all the entrances and then they could bait the bollocks out of us while we're there, right? But if that's what people feel that needs to be done, it is something different instead of just protesting the government, well, then I'll go down fighting with me fellow Irish man and woman that does show up, right? The bottom line is this, folks, right? And I hope this is a lesson learned now, right? The Garda Síochána and the Public Garda Unit are enemies and should be treated as such, right? That we should not engage with them. We should ignore them, right? They do not have our safety in mind. We've seen that. They're willing to pepper spray old people, right? I showed you, I re-uploaded the footage of the granny that was pushed in Newtown, Mount Kennedy, and then I zoomed in and I slowed it down for you because you needed to see it again. They pushed an old age pensioner onto the ground, right? And then you saw the weird video footage, and I'm convinced, by the way, there's video footage of a fella that's in his garden, and there's people standing out of his garden, and he tells them to come into his garden because the riot squad are there, right? And he's filming all of this, and he's probably seen it. It's a fucking great video, right? But he's there, and he's saying, who are you fucking charging at, right? Because they're charging, but there's nobody there. And he's there, and he said, who are you charging at, right? And then one of the public order units says, come out here, you thug, or something like that. Who's a thug? Who's a thug? Who are you fucking charging at? There's nobody there. You seen the video, right? It's fucking hilarious. It's hilarious but scary at the same time. Now you're probably wondering, right? Why would they be doing that? Well, you see, it's very easy, right? Camera angles are very important, you see. So when RTA are actually, and the mainstream media, right? They're at a certain angle, and they're just showing you the riot squad, aren't they? Right? So they're showing you the riot squad charging, but they're not showing you who they're charging at. Right? So they're making it look a lot worse than what it was. They were going into people's housing estates. Right? Telling people to get into their homes. Acting like thugs. Right? Unbelievable. So, look, the bottom line is this, is that these people have zero respect for you, right? And last year when the protest happened outside Drogheda, right, you had Herman Kelly and others thanking the Gardaí at the time. And I called it out and I said, what are you thanking the Gardaí for? And I got an awful lot of stick for that, right? And even then I was saying, don't be thanking these people. They have made it very clear, right? The very first incident, when they went in and did what they did, right, they lost the trust of the Irish people. So why now people will think that all of a sudden, months later, a year later, that these people are going to change their tune? They're not going to change their tune, folks. They're not going to change their tune. And we've got a troll in the chat saying that nationalists are the biggest threat to Irish women and children. All right, then. Roderick O'Gorman is the Minister of Children. How many children went missing in state care? Right? And nationalists are the biggest threat. Listen, unfortunately, Irish people, like everywhere else in the world, the indigenous people are going to commit crime. But why you'd want to import more crime into your country and put more women and children at risk, as you say, is mind-boggling to me. So you could take that crap out of the chat, because that lefty narrative doesn't fly with me whatsoever. To be quite honest with you, the bottom line is that the same left have no problem that 17,000 babies on this island were aborted. You know what I mean? You can't talk to me as a lefty, the same left that have no problem of brainwashing kids into thinking that they can change gender and then knobbing body parts off. So you can't really say that to me as a nationalist, because I tell you one thing, the difference between me and you is I know who I am, right? You're clearly a confused little person who's trying to fit into society. So I'll latch on to any bullshit that anybody tells you, right, to make yourself feel better about yourself. All right. So if you want to continue to be brainwashed by these idiots, you go ahead and be brainwashed. Okay. The rest of us use common sense, facts, and logic. All right. If you want to be deluded and live in your delusions, go ahead. Nobody is saying that you can't live your lives. Just don't force it on other people. It's as simple as that, right? None of us want this shit forced on us, right? And that's what you guys are trying to do, okay? And you are the minority in this country when it comes to the illegals coming into this country, right? You are. A lot of people are starting to speak up now. Before they were all afraid. But people are speaking up now because they're seeing exactly what the state, what the left, and what the government are all about, right? They know what they're about now, and they don't like it. And whether you like it or not, we will win this in the end, right? We will win this in the end. And every single person that was involved in the downfall of this country and tried to put the country and its people in danger will see a prison cell. Every single one of them, right? I live in a country now where people are openly protesting for a people that voted in terrorists who attacked Israel. I live in a country that openly pushes a transgender narrative on their children and exposes their children to drag shows, right? And you want to talk to me about some Irish nationalists that made mistakes or committed crimes out there. Listen, nobody's perfect. You want to look at Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Labour, and all of those little corrupt TDs in there, because most of them should be in prison for what they've done to this country in the last few decades. So don't be coming in here with your lefty narrative and bullshit. It's not going to fly here, right? As I said, if you want to live in a delusional world, right, where everybody could play make-believe, you go ahead. You go ahead. You play make-believe. okay? But leave the rest of us alone because we don't want to play make believe. We live in fucking reality, right? We live in fact and logic. Everybody just needs to fucking wise up to what's going on in this country, right? Everything that's happening, the climate agenda, it's all connected, folks, right? It's all Depop, right? And people used to say that that was a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory, right? The elites have actually come out. Bill Gates and all of these people have actually come out and said it out straight, like, right? And nobody on the left bats an eyelid. They actually agree with it. That's why they're for abortion and all of this other stuff, right? Because it'll impact the global birth rates. And remember, birth rates globally are down anyway because of all the shit that be putting in their water and their food and all of that, and the drugs we've been taking, you know, over the years that they've been telling us that been helping us. I remember when we were all kids, especially in Ireland, you know, when we got our jobs as babies, we didn't have a fucking choice. Our parents made that decision for us. Right? You had to be jabbed. So remember, you know what I mean? It's all fucking control. Anyway, back to the Gardaí though, before we move on. As I said, you know, the bottom line is this, folks. They're not our friends. You know, there may be some in the force. Listen, I would say this though. If there are any in the force, right, or if there's any Gardaí listening to this stream, because I know you monitor streams, right, I just want to say to you, decent Gardaí out there, if there's any, right, you know, you wants to have a conscience and know that this is wrong. You know, it'd be nice if yous came forward. Right? Yous would have the support of the Irish people. Trust me, yous came forward. We'd protect yous. We'd make sure yous didn't lose your jobs because yous are honourable. Now, if there's any honourable Gardaí still left out there, please come forward. But I know I'm talking to a brick wall. Anyway, as I said, Coolock, Tipperary, Clonmel, all of these places are not getting any engagement from government. So I'd like to know who Helen McEntee or whoever's in charge of choosing these iPass locations, right? Who they're actually in communication with, right? And we've seen no evidence, by the way, from the government, which is funny, isn't it? Because if you're being accused of not engaging with the community, right, then you would counter that by saying, well, here's the people I've been engaging with. This is the contact we had. We shared several emails, blah, blah, blah. Cover out names, you know. You could show that you actually engaged, but you didn't. Now, Mary Lou McDonald's trying to pull the wool over his eyes again because she has written an open letter. It's funny that she made the letter public, but apparently she urged Helen McEntee to engage with the public and the people in Coolock. The funny thing is that, you know, this comes from a woman and a party who block anybody who criticise them. Right? Mary Lou has me blocked and many others. So she talks about engagement, but yes, she's gone around blocking everybody and she hasn't been to Coolock. Right? The residents even asked at the protest that I was at, where's Mary Lou McDonald? Why isn't she there? Right? She said that she got it wrong when it came to the migration. They said that Sinn Féin would learn lessons from it, right? And they would start engaging. She hasn't engaged. She hasn't come down herself. And listen, Mary Lou, if you're afraid that you're going to get a bit of stick, you deserve it though. But if you come up and show the fucking backbone that apparently you're supposed to fucking have and get on that mic and promise people from now on you will put their fucking needs first, maybe you'd get somewhere. But you know what? The bottom line is nobody trusts you. And I don't trust Sinn Féin. I've never trusted Sinn Féin. He's used Bobby Sands. He's used the people up the north, right, to gain politically. That's what you did, right? And now you are using the same tactics down here, right? You are manipulating people, right? But you accused the so-called far right of doing that. You are all manipulating people, right? And you want to put it on us. We're not manipulating. We don't need to manipulate people, right? People are seeing the videos of the public order unit beating Irish people up. Defenceless, by the way. Defenceless, right? They're seeing those, right? RT News won't show it, right? But it's getting out there. It's bleeding out there, and people are getting more aware. There's more Irish people joining Twitter now, right? And all of these other social media platforms. They're waking up. Right? So you won't be able to keep the fucking floodgates closed for long. The floodgates are about to open in this country. And I'm telling you now that the NGOs and other state agencies are covering up some of the crimes that these people have committed in this country. We have seen multiple videos by loads of Irish nationalists, right? There was a video a couple of weeks ago from Mount Street where there looked like there was a severed finger. Now, it looked like it, an alleged severed finger. I had to slow the footage down, zoom it up, but it looked like it. Loads of blood everywhere. So, you know, this is all going on. And then it doesn't help. And by the way, just in case, you know, any crime, doesn't matter who commits it. Any crime is heinous in this country. But I love when the left say, well, Irish nationalists are this, that, and the other, right? And Irish men are more dangerous than blah, blah, blah. It's bullshit, right? It's bullshit. Before all of this, you weren't coming out and saying all of this crap. No, you weren't, right? You weren't. And I'm not saying that Ireland hasn't had a domestic violence problem, right? Or Irish men doing stuff like that. We know it's been well fucking documented, right? Nobody is fucking denying that, right? But as I said, why you'd want to import more crime into your country is fucking absolutely madness. It's madness. And if you think that every single person that's coming into this country has a halo over their fucking head and is innocent, well then you're so fucking naive and stupid. I don't know what to tell you. Right? And the government even admitted before they start saying none of these are illegal and unvetted, right? They actually admitted a couple of years ago that there was a certain amount of illegal and unvetted migrants coming into the country. But they changed that narrative very quickly. Do you know what? Some people are crazy. Anyway, that protest outside the Garda HQ headquarters, I'm pretty sure the left will have their little counter one somewhere because, you know, they'll be called in, you know, go there now to cause trouble, you know, with all their fucking flags that aren't Irish. You know, I remember they had because they were getting called out for not having any tricolours at that protest. And I remember at one protest, they showed up with tricolours and played some Irish music just to prove that they were Irish. Get the fucking boat, you lunatics. We know you hate the country. You are trying, you know what? The bottom line is, right, I'd have no problem with any motherfucker who wanted to actually genuinely make this country a better place. Because in fairness, us as a people do deserve this country to be the best that it can for us people to fucking thrive. And I do believe that since the formation of the Republic, these parties have failed. All of them have failed since this country became a republic, right? Okay, so if the left were actually serious about changing this country for the better, right, and they didn't have the idiotic ideas and all of this shit that they wanted to bring for, I would have no problem with it. But the bottom line is a proof that she's not crazy and you want to live in a dictatorship. I would suggest that you actually all move to North Korea or go to Gaza because you all love them poor people there. Apparently they're poor. Go and live there in Gaza, right? Or if not, go to Ukraine as well, because you were virtual signaling for them a few years back, but you've all gone quiet on Ukraine. But why don't you just go and move to Ukraine and fight on the front line? Or go to Gaza and help all these poor Palestinians on the front line? No, you fucking won't, right? But what you will do in this country is disrupt everybody else's lives, right? To go around a virtual signal for people who give 0 fucks about you and would have no problem if you were LGBTQ to absolutely delete you if you went over there. So, again, stupidity, grow brain, will you? Go brain. Listen, we have Miracle Grow for plants. I don't know if they have a tablet that makes you smarter, right? But you lefties all need to pop a pill, a smart pill, right? And get a bit of cop on, right? Before you erase us all, right? Because that's exactly what you are doing, right? And you mightn't realise it. But you see, they didn't realise it in Sweden either, right? And then they did. They copped on when it was too late. And you look at you are talking about crimes committed by Irish people. Well, go and look at the crime statistics for Sweden and in relation to migrants. And you will see that every single crime in the country has gone up by over 200% in most cases, right? And it's because new to the parish came to that country. People that are not compatible with our society. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? If they want to live like animals, let them live like animals in their own country. If they want to go and not ask permission for women when they want to do the nasty with them, right? That's their business, do it in their own country, right? But here we have a set of rules, we have sets of laws, and we have a moral compass that's different to theirs, right? And the fact that you're trying to implant people that are not compatible with us is absolutely fucking delusional, right? In no country in the history of the world has this worked, and it will never work, right? It'll never work. The United States is diverse. Has that country really been settled or anything? No, there's always been shit in that country, and there always will be shit in that country, right? Because unfortunately, right, what people don't realize is that we're not all compatible, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? That would be like, right, let me give an example. Let me see. That would be like getting the Native American Indians of the past, right? Bringing them all to the future, right? And putting them back into America. What do you think would happen? Right? What Native American Indians were warriors. They were fighters. They were butchers, right? They were brutal, right? They wouldn't be compatible with today's society. And this is what we're doing. We're bringing people from all of these different countries that are not compatible with our way of doing things, right? And we're trying to insert them into our population. Now, if you're all for diversity, and especially all you lefties out there that push all of this, well, then why don't you just push for people that are more compatible with our societies, that do need our help? Because there's plenty out there, right? When you dig under the surface of all of this and you go down the rabbit hole, you know exactly why all of this is happening, right? You know exactly why this is happening. There's an aging population in most countries, right? And this is a global plan, right? And it's the wrong plan, in my opinion, right? What you should be doing is getting to the root cause of why birth rates are down. But they don't want it because they're responsible for it. They know why birth rates are down. So their plan is to import all of these people from countries that are not compatible all across Europe. And then we've seen in France, we've seen in Spain, we've seen in Italy, we've seen in Belgium, we've seen in Canada, we've even seen on the border of Mexico and the US, right? And all we see is nothing but fucking chaos, right? And then you look at countries that have banned all of this bullshit, like Hungary, like Russia, right? Russia throws them out. If they commit a crime, they're out. They're gone. Bang, right? They deported a load of them just a few weeks back, right? Zero tolerance. Zero. Gone. Out the door. Right? But you look at countries that don't accept all of these people, and their countries are fucking thriving. And what's Europe trying to do? To destroy them. To destroy them because they won't conform. They won't get in line. So Hungary now is being hit by fines and all of this other nonsense because their country is brilliant. Their country is doing great, right? Their people are happy. Anyway, just to remind people, I am on the other channel tonight. Get it off your chest. So if you've got anything to say, guys, get subscribing over there. And as usual, one at a time, bring us on. You can discuss whatever you want to actually discuss. It's up to you ourselves. Remember, it's for you guys to get whatever you want off you our chest. Anyway, let's get on to our next part of our news, which I forgot. Yeah, so just Helen McEntee, bit more engagement. So yeah, Dundalk. So as I said, we covered it anyway. So Dundalk did descend into chaos, unfortunately. But oh yeah, very interestingly, because we got a lefty in here, who's throwing around all sorts of accusations and all. Well, you can answer this one. So the nationalists were holding their protest in Dundalk at a particular location, and then yous originally were at a different location, but yous heard where the nationalists were holding theirs, and yous went directly up beside them, right? So why didn't you have our protest where he's originally planned to have it? I'll tell you why. He's wanted to antagonise. See, again, he's talk about the big bad far right antagonising everybody, but yet the lefties in Dundalk decided to interfere with the national protest, make noise and start jeering and try to antagonise. And then you were actually moved on by the Gardaí. The Gardaí had enough of you as well, actually. But again, you blame everything on the imaginary far right when you are the guys that actually antagonise. The same when we had the big national protest where you decided to counter it outside the GPO because we were having ours at the Garden Remembrance and walking down to the Customs House, and you deliberately had yours at the same time because, again, you wanted to antagonise us, but we didn't actually play into our hands. So then the public order unit then after air protest was over, then cornered women and children, took their flags off them, and then brutalized them. So again, we're living in well, every day is getting like North Korea, isn't it? You'd probably have more freedom in North Korea now at this stage. Well, I've given my opinion on the public order unit as well, so I've actually really covered everything in this stream, but is there anybody in the chat there wants to be a mod? Let me know. Why isn't it letting me go in there? Paddy, yeah, I'll give you a mod actually because you've been here from the beginning. So there you go. We got right. Catherine and who said Frankie? Right, we got Paddy. Give Lady Avera. Yes, I will, Paul. Actually, yeah, Lady Avera. Where's Lady Avera? In me chat. We give Lady Avera. Right, for now we'll just give it to Lady Avera and Paddy, because both of those have been here from the very beginning, like Paul. So I'll do that because I appreciate that. So there you go, Paddy and Lady Avera, for now, and then we'll wait until the chat gets bigger. We've only got, I mean, I think if the two mods tell me there that they need more people to handle the chat, let's hope we don't get into that position anyway. But all I'll say is, as mods, listen, I don't put any rules in place. If you think someone is crossing the line in the chat, right, I leave it to you to decide whether they get removed or not. Okay, so I'll leave it to you. I'll leave it to you. I see that. Yeah, I see there's a few people having a bit of a laugh there about who I shouldn't give it to and all. I remember those days, man. I remember those days. But you do have to be careful. But I do trust Paddy, because Paddy's been in the chat from day one, and Lady Avera, as I said. So couldn't have asked for two better. And the Catherine did offer as well. As I said, Catherine and Frankie as well was there. I'll tell you what, guys, if Lady Avera and Paddy need any help in the chat, and they tell me, I'll let them decide, because they're on other channels as well, so they know who to trust, really. You know what I mean? Whereas I know I can trust those two. I don't know who else to trust, you know what I mean, on this. So they'll know who to trust. So if they say you guys are all right. Anyway, it's a very interesting time anyway. I do believe we're on the brink, though. I mean, but I think it's all by design. I think it's all by design, and it's going to be very critical now and crucial what happens next. There is, I think it's tomorrow, isn't it? Pretty sure it's tomorrow. Hold on, I just want to double check something before I mention it. Should be in my community post there. Oh yeah, hold on. Yeah, just to let you know, actually, because we like to keep everybody informed. So Kilkenny says no. So apparently we're just a certain percentage of the population. But Kilkenny says no is now holding a meeting at their town hall Friday, the 26th of July at 7 p.m. Marching from the hall to the iPass Centre at the River View House. So if you just want to get down there, you can. There's a new campsite, obviously, at Ballyogan after the fire, and alleged, and I say alleged, what sounded like gunshots. Again, I enhanced the audio on that video. Very interesting. Also, yeah, at the Dundalk says no, Antifa showed up as well with their flags. I mean, the left have their own little wing called Antifa. Now, they're a bunch of pussies, Antifa. We shouldn't really take Antifa seriously, but they actually think, they all think they're little hard men, but like, we've seen it all over. When Antifa gets challenged, they crumble. So we don't really have to worry about them, but they are They are talking as if they're going to do something. Just laugh at them. I mean, you just have to sneeze at them and blow them over. Well, hold on. I'm still trying to find this bloody post because I want to get the date right. So that's the one that already happened. Where is it? Jeez, I do post a lot on my community page tab, but didn't realize how much I post on that. Oh, by the way, kind of a thing that people should be worried about, right? Here's another thing I've noticed as well. So there was a report that HIV and AIDS was on the rise in Ireland, and the amount of people that contracted the virus has like the percentage has gone through the roof. Again, it's funny that, isn't it? I just want to say, you know, the lefties' way of doing things and the world that they want to have, and everybody's gone around riddled. Whereas before we had morals, we had beliefs, you know, we actually had respect for ourselves. We weren't going around sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry either. Do you know what I mean? But that's the lefty utopia where disease is rampant and God knows where else. Where is this bloody post? I even forget now what I'm looking for. There's something I needed to bring up and I just can't think what I was. Oh, by the way, that's not misinformation. What I'm saying about that, you can literally Google that and it'll come up. So I'm not spreading any misinformation. I just find it curious that cases in this country have gone up on the rise at the same time as all of this madness. I'm not saying the two are linked, but I don't think you have to be Sherlock Holmes to kind of figure it out. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, you know, you got to point people in the right direction, don't you? There was something else. There was something else going on, and I thought to go, oh yeah, now I know what it is. Hold on. It's the. It'll be here somewhere. I remember. There. It is. So no, wrong person. What? Don't tell me his account is gone. Right, as you've seen, I threw up a video earlier on. There's a lot of censorship going on. Yes. So tomorrow outside the High Court, the 23rd, obviously, 10:30 a.m. They're having a bit of a gathering there. I spoke about it already. What I'll do is actually just to remind people, I'm going to put it in the community tab now. So if you can make it, please do. It's the type of protest that we actually should be getting involved in. It makes a lot of sense. So basically what it is, well, if you go into the community tab right now, you'll actually see what it's all about there. So if you can get there for 10:30 in the morning, I know it's a bit early. I know some of you work. So, you know, so I know some won't be able to make it, but if you can, it'll be absolutely appreciated. I do know there's going to be a few people there anyway, so just check out the post there. High Court 10:30 if you are available to show you support. Obviously, I'm not going to have a go at anybody for not turning up, because I do know it's early in the morning and people do work. And before anybody calls me out, no, I'm not on the dole. Right, but I'm retired. But I'm not on the dole, I'm not receiving anything from the government. So, you know, that can't be used against me. I love when the left do try to use that against you. Like, you know, listen, I went to school, I went to college, and I became a fucking professional chef, right? Okay, I did me education. Okay, I did everything that I had to do, right? I paid taxes, I did whatever, right? And then, obviously, I had a very bad accident involving a car, and that ended my career. Still very bitter about that, but what can you do? And that's why, you know, people see me at protests, like, you know, I can hardly fucking walk sometimes. But I show up. I showed up at Coolock and all I did because I had to be there, you know, because I see what was going on. And as I said, you know, I spent a lot of time over on that side of Dublin. Love Coolock. Love it. Right, those people will tell you, you know, that's what I like about Coolock, right? There's other places in Dublin, obviously, that are the same, but Coolock is unique, though. But in Coolock, like, you know, they have no problem with telling you to fuck off. Do you know what I mean? They're out straight. But you know what? If you're in trouble, right, you're in trouble, or you're stuck, or you know, or you need someone there in your time of need, there's nothing better than people in Coolock to look after you. Seriously, no messing. Oh no, I don't give a shit. That's what the wife said. You know, there's a bit of thing with me now is where I'm getting to a place where I'll probably have to, but like I don't want to. I don't want to. And I know you're a lot saying crazy. My wife, you know, trust me, I get her in the neck all the time. Ah, but I have my hobbies and stuff, and I go and go to all of these, as many events as I can go to. You know, show me support wherever I can. Yeah, Dublin. Look, it is bad. Yeah, I mean, I think now everybody could see it now. That's the thing. We knew how bad it was. I mean, you listen to Lady of Era, you listen to Paul there. I mean, they're living in the city centre. You know, they're living in areas. I've even got two friends that are living right where they're living. There's literally all around them. Right, there's three iPass centres around them, basically. right? It's only when you go to the city centre, right? This is the thing. A lot of these lefties, they're idiots. Go into the city centre, there he is. City centre is not, listen, I went in, as I said, when, and I didn't even notice the city. I didn't even recognise it. It's not the city I grew up in. And it certainly doesn't feel safe. I mean, you feel like you're constantly, you have to constantly watch over your shoulder because there's so much going on. Whereas years ago, you seen it, O'Connell Street, O'Connell Bridge, always pretty busy with Irish people, you know that. But you were never constantly having to look over your shoulder. I'm not saying that Irish people didn't commit crimes in town and all of this, blah, 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 blah. Of course they did. But it wasn't a regular occurrence. And this is the thing. None of these things that were happening are regular occurrences in our country, but now they've become regular occurrences. And then people just kind of trying to figure out, well, why is it happening? But they want to blame us all the time. Oh, we won't give in. I think the people of Coolock showed. The people of Newtown Mount Kennedy showed. I heard something about Clonmel, and I just said it out straight. Someone put it up, that they're worried about something else happening in Clonmel. And I was like, well, I'm not going to feel sorry for them. I'm sorry. The bottom line is I tried to help. And it was refused because I'm an outsider. Apparently. Right? I'm not saying I'm an outsider. They're telling me I'm an outsider. So I'm not going to have any sympathy. The bottom line is, I said this from day one, right? The people of Clonmel and all of these other areas that are like that need to cop on. The bottom line is that whether you want trouble or not, right? The public order unit will cause it whether you like it or not, right? That's the bottom line. People are not going to these places to cause trouble. The public order unit are following them to start trouble. So we have to get away from this mentality. Well, I don't want people coming down to my area because there might be trouble. There's going to be trouble either way. Because this is what will happen. You'll wait until you know when those homes are going in there. Then you will ask everybody to come down. Then what will happen is the public order unit will come in and beat everybody up anyway. Right? But instead of getting the support now, not worrying about what the public order unit do, we can get things in place to stop that area from even being planted. We've got to think tactically. We've got to think smart. So, this is the problem, and then we had another area, could you please pray for this area? Praying is going to do jack shit here, right? Praying, talking, speeches from the same assholes every fucking time, right, is not going to do anything. And they're not assholes as in assholes. I'm just saying I'm sick of listening to the same people say the same fucking thing over and over again. Trevor in the chat there, right? I don't know how many times we've all said it. We've been blue in the fucking face saying it, right? We're all blue in the face saying it, right? Now, you see, what should have happened is, national protest, then they've told everybody, but if you can't make the national ones protest outside. No, what should have said is national protest, Dublin, all 32 counties or whatever, if they wanted to make it truly national. Because remember, the Brits up north are dealing with it as well, and the Catholics up there are dealing with it as well. Remember that. Right? I think we tend to forget that. Right? But it's a national thing. So what should have happened is people assemble at Dublin, people assemble at Clonmel, people assemble in Knock, wherever the Garda station is that's fucking open, get out there. Not if you can't make it to Dublin, then go to your local Garda station. Go to your local Garda station. If you can't get to Dublin, go to your local Garda station. Simple as that. Simple as that. Stand outside with a placard, right? Down with this sort of thing, like Father Ted. Down with this sort of thing, right? I've been saying it for ages and ages and ages that we had to pull the resources all over the place in this country. And now people are actually thinking that now. And I'm like, well, I kind of been saying this for ages. Like, I mean, like, come on, wake up. Careful now. Love Father Ted. But seriously, this is what we need to be doing, right? Nothing illegal. Just stretch their resources, right, as much as we can. The bottom line is that these people have to see now and have to feel that we are the majority, because we are. We outnumber them anyway, right? We outnumber them. So could you imagine if we're able to immobilize the country and just get everybody to go to their Garda station, as I said, right? And stand outside with a placard, stand outside with a sign, right? They won't know what to do. They'll probably call in the army then. But we have to send them a message now, because they've been sending their people a message by beating them up. So we've got to send them a message now. It's our turn to show them who's in charge. Who's in charge? We're in charge, not them. They're supposed to represent us. We're in charge. This is our country. Our country, our land, our streets. They answer to us. And it's about time that the Irish people get up and show them that. Right? It's all well and good having 10,000 show up here, 5,000 show up here, 10,000 show up here, blah, 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 blah. Now we need yous all. We've got to show them who's the boss. Right? Consecutive governments, right, have gotten it easy off the Irish people. So now that this government thinks they can literally do whatever the fuck they like, and they are doing whatever the fuck they like. They were not mandated by us to do any of this. So we've got to show them who's in charge. And as I said, legally, we're not at that stage yet. But we're getting to the brink, because the government are so determined, and the public order unit are so determined to stoke up public reaction. So this is it now. These next couple of weeks and months are going to be the most defining for this movement. And if we put a foot wrong, we're done for. Simple as that. Right? And it is as simple as that, by the way. We are done for. Okay? So, as I said, there's no more sitting on the fence for people now. Right? There's no more of being afraid now. And you know what? Paul's just saying something in the chat there, but I actually said this as well. They called for people to show up in Coolock, right? And loads of us did. But imagine if you had asked or waited maybe a couple of days to get everybody to go to Coolock. Right? There is no way that the public order unit, if 15,000 people say had showed up in Coolock, right, there would be no way they'd be able to contain it. Right? We've even heard from ex-members saying that their public order unit are going in like lambs to the slaughter. Well, I disagree with that, because they're going around pepper spraying old ladies and children like they're hardly lambs to the fucking slaughter. They're the ones that are slaughtering the Irish people. So that narrative is a load of bullshit. But as I said, and I've pointed out, the public order unit are way over their heads here. They're not even organised properly. You've seen it, right? Someone got drone footage. They're all over the place. They're all over the place. Tactically, they're all over the place. And all we have to do is just be fucking outsmart them, right? And Newtown, Mount Kennedy and Coolock people already out fucking smarted these people, right? So it's easy to get the better of these without having to do anything much, right? We can make these look like a laughing stock, and that's what we have to do now. I agree with you. Coolock is the perfect place. It is. It is. And, you know, it's very easy to plan as well, right? Because, you know, we've got drone footage from the last incident. We know what the aerial view is like. We know where all the roads are, where all the best vantage points are. Right? We've got to get our... Listen, people don't want to... See, this is the problem. People don't want to get their hands dirty. You got to get your hands dirty now. We got to the point where we got to get our hands dirty. Talking's not going to cut it. You know, water balloons. You know, things like that. We've got to start thinking tactically. Right? There's lots of things we could do with water balloons. Right? Put some oil in water balloons. You know, make the ground fucking slippy. Right? Fucking do whatever. Right? Legally, of course. Legally, of course. All of this is legal, by the way. You know, they can't really do anything to you. You know what I mean? I mean, you could throw water balloons at people. It's not really a crime. Like, someone can get upset about it, obviously. But throwing water balloons is not a crime. You know, you add a bit of oil. No, I don't give a shit. Add a bit of oil to the water. No, she's telling me to I don't care. Got to listen, there's loads we can do. Loads. Right? I don't care who hears me. Right? The bottom line is these people, right? The public order unit declared war on the Irish people. Right? So, you know, the bottom line is, what do they expect? Do you think we're going to sit back and take it? Right? We make them look like idiots, right? We make them look like idiots, right? It's game over, right? And they're already being made look like fools, right? Could you imagine a scenario where we were able to box them in, not the other way around, right? Now, we don't do nothing, but we box them in. That'd be enough to send a fucking message. That'd be enough to send a message. Right? Boxed in, what are they going to do? They can't do nothing. They're fucked. So we tell them, drop your shields, drop your batons, drop and go back. Done. Coolock wins. Country wins. They're running off like idiots. People are filming them running off. Game over. They've boxed us in so many fucking times. Right? They've boxed us in so many times. Right? And succeeded. Right? We are smarter than these people. I know we are smarter than these people. We're Irish. Right? We're smarter than these lunatics. Right? I've seen their tactics. Right, I've seen it in Newtown, Mount Kennedy. I've seen it everywhere. I've been watching them. I've even been watching their videos. Right, I've even been watching their videos that they even post up themselves of their tactics. Right, these guys haven't got a fucking clue. And I'm going to say this as well. Right, women and children are not getting involved, by the way, right? Because the thing about it is, I'm sick of women and children. It's time for the men to stand to the front of the fucking queue. End the fucking story. Right? I hate that. I heard that a few times at Prague. Put women and children. No. Leave our women and children alone. It's time for the men to step up to the fucking plate. That's what we're here for. Right? They want to batter. Listen for a minute. They want to take us, the left especially want to take us Irish men fucking down. Right? They want to take us down a peg or fucking two. Right? It's about time that we show them what we're fucking made of. Right? We protect their women and fucking children. We don't put them in the front fucking line. Right? We don't do what those cowards do. Anyway, thank you. Few of you agree with me in the chat. Well, I say most of you agree with me anyway, but you are lovely. But you know what? I'm going to be streaming in an hour on the other channel. So if any of you want to come on and you want to actually add to what I said here tonight, come over to the other channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already and get over there because we'll be live in an hour. I'm coming back. I'll be an hour. But listen, guys, as I said, right, we just have to be smarter here and be more tactical. You know, they've already proven that they're not going to listen to you. They're going to continue to do what they do, right? And how many videos, and I'll just say this to you before I leave, and I know some of you have already reached our breaking point anyway, but to the rest of you that still think that we can solve this by the way you want to do things, I'll ask you, how many videos do you need to see if the public order unit pepper spraying grannies, pushing them, granddads, body slamming kids to the ground, right, dragging them on the ground, arresting them? How many more of those videos do you guys all need to see before you say, okay, maybe we need to change it up, maybe we need to do something different? Because I always said the same after the Dublin incident, the Pearse Street, why that wasn't the catalyst for the country to demand that the government step down and blah, blah, blah. But all of this has happened since. But it's taken Coolock to spark the rest of the country now. We've seen Dundalk, Limerick have had theirs. There's other protests now across the country, Kilkenny and all, now happening. But why do we have to wait to see the worst of the worst before people act? And it's not just in Irish people, it's everywhere. We always wait till it's too late. And we've certainly done this a lot in this country. We've waited until all of these sites have been before we've acted. And what I'm saying is we need to act before. And I've been saying this since last year, by the way. It's not the first time I've said this. I've been saying this for a long time. But I've just gotten so blue in the face saying it because nobody is listening. Yeah, you guys listen. But again, you know, if it's not from the people that are running the show, nobody listens. We know what needs to be done. The other channel is called, hold on, I will post the link in now to make it easier for you. What I'm going to do is actually, what I'll do tonight is I'll go into the bio of this channel and I'll put it in the link description in the bio. So when you go into my channel, then there'll be a link there that you'll be able to go in directly then from now on. But I'll get it up now for you. Hold on. But I'm over there in an hour, literally an hour and 5 minutes. I've got everything ready. I just need to set the stream up now. But I've got the intro and all is ready and all. So I don't have to do anything, which is the good thing about it. So I'll just take a rest, have something quick to eat, cup of tea maybe, bit of juice, whatever. I haven't decided. And then back a bit more energized again. And then off we go again. Right, so there you go. It's in there now. And yeah, me mods, obviously me mods, some of me mods have channels. So me mods can share channels. Now, if you want to share a channel, I have no problem. But just ask first. Alright. Ask the mods first if it's okay. Right? I don't want just because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You know, I've seen this because I'm on this platform 7 years. You know, you do well and then people come in and they'll just come in just to post their channel and don't actually take part in the conversation. So if you see any of that mods, you can remove that shit because I don't like that. You know, if they're here all the time, no problem. You know what I mean? But we don't want grifters coming in here using whatever audience we have to promote themselves. So the mods, you are more than welcome to do that. And if there's any other channels you would like to promote because you know that they're decent channels, you are more than welcome to do that as well. So just keep that in mind. So I'll just take this comment down. And Sean said he sees us in an hour. Well, yeah, we'll see you in an hour, buddy. We'll take that. No, we can leave that on there. Anyway, we will leave it there, folks. Thank you for joining me. As I said, get over to the other channel now in a few minutes. I'll put the link up now in a minute. It should be up in a few minutes. Get into the chat. I'll see you there in an hour. The link to StreamYard will be pinned to the live chat. So if you want to come on, you're more than welcome to come on and get off your chest what you want to get off your chest. But it's been absolutely fantastic. By the way, thank you for all the support that I've gotten. It really is appreciated. So we'll talk to you for the next one. Have a good one, folks. Bye-bye. By the way, I will leave you. I think it's fair that I leave you with the video that I started with because it was very inspiring. So I'll leave you with the video that Fergus threw up on his Twitter account and asked us to share. So here it is. I'll leave you with this, folks. I'll just take myself off the screen and we'll end with this video. Talk to you in an hour.
Each and every one of you here today, and I won't explain the problems that Ireland has because you know them. You know them yourselves. But we have the ability in the next weeks and months to change all of this forevermore. And each and every one of you has to go from house to house, from street to street, and you have to win as many votes as possible. That these people who are cowardly in nature, who won't show their face, who won't show their identity, but they'll say, but I agree with you. I agree with you. When they go behind that curtain, they have to vote for change, and ye have to make sure that they vote for change. This is the one chance we have. Don't waste it. You seen today an army of Gardaí, and they were not there. They were not there for us. They were there to protect them. My grandfather, when he was a child, and when the black and tans were making their way around Sligo, burning creameries and all the rest of it, a man came running and hid under a cock of hay. 3 black and tans, he was 12 years of age, says to him, "Where is that man?" And they bet him like a dog. And they'll bait us like dogs because they work for the Queen's shilling still. Each and every one of you here today, when you go home, ring your brother, ring your sister, ring your cousin. Talk to your neighbours and say, Ireland is for the Irish once again. Get used to it.